We're gonna take this to the bedroom no matter what. What happened? Oh, replay. Can I get a replay? That was amazing.
Best one ever. We were no. Oh my god.
Got immediately backstabbed. We both got a point for that.
Yeah, we did.
Hey guys, Mr. Mabini here, welcome back to... Is it Mr. I don't know what I'm supposed to be at the moment actually. Welcome to Friday Night Fun, and I just done a bit of Bathurst as Mike Winterbottom. I did 6 laps and then I crashed out, and you can see why. I was driving very timidly because I was afraid that I was going to do myself some proper damage. It's just a difficult track to drive on at full pelt if you're driving on a controller because it's so fiddly. But it gets to a stage where I do actually take out another car. It's doing really well actually. All I want to do is just finish the race, and it's such a pain. I wonder if I can change the settings so that it replays a lot more of the race, maybe the whole race, because that'd be better. I'll do that in the next one. I'm just not quite... I just want to make a proper video where I can actually talk about the thing that I want to talk about. But watch out, because you can see somewhere down the bottom of the mountain here, bottom of the chase. I'll lose it a little bit. You can see there's a car just here. Obviously bashed into something and lost steering. The car's obviously really stuffed. This one, here we go. Slowing down heaps. Get into it. Just right into it. Dropping heaps of gears. Now watch this. This is where I get hit. High speed, flat out, up through the gears, and there's this guy shaking me out. I was like, oh shit! Oh, that's what did it. Jesus! Span out massively. Bam! Into the wall. Look at this guy limping along. No, that's what I want to show you so far. I'll show you more later on. Here we are, this is the full race now. And it's... I actually managed to finish in the top 10, it's a long one. But we'll absolutely get into it right now. So, one of the things... Let me just take off my headset here. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was... because I'm driving this particular car, Mike Winterbottom's 2016 Bathurst car, and it's I chose it because Mike Winterbottom is pretty much not going to be at Tickford Racing next year. I'd be surprised if he is, because it wouldn't make any sense. At some stage earlier this last couple of weeks, Tickford Racing and Triple Eight both hand back their racing entitlement contracts. So what it means is that Tickford Racing, with its 3 drivers that are on contract, Stanaway, Waters and Mostert, those guys will continue with Tickford. Winterbottom is off contract, and the other car run by Tickford, Will Davison in 23 Red Racing, is unlikely... Well, is going to basically be the 4th car of the team, and Winterbottom himself will be leaving over to Team 18 probably, while Lee Holdsworth will be in the unfortunate position of being kicked out of the category because there are no other options. It's all complicated the way it is, and it's a bit unfair for Winterbottom because he's a very successful driver and he's one of the most successful drivers in the category. Only slightly less successful than Garth Tander. So that's why I'm driving that car. I did not know that guy was behind me. God, am I about to be shoved into a wall or something? Jesus. Anyway, okay, there we go. Let's pull off to the silent room. Off we go. Back into it. I turned off the repair, or I turned off damage on this. That's why I was able to finish it. Otherwise, there would have been a lot more piled up cars and a lot more DNFs. But I actually managed to finish in the top 10, so that's a good thing. Anyway, we do have 10 laps to talk about stuff. This is the way I'm doing Friday Night Fun right now. It had actually been a while since I did, well, it's been a while since I've done Assetto Corsa, and it's also been a while since I did, haven't driven a Ford in Assetto Corsa yet. So, here we go, me driving a Ford, and it's this particular car for one reason, and that reason is that this is, well, 2016 was one of the last years that Frosty was actually, the last year that he won a race, and this particular Bathurst one, I saw that and I thought, gee, it's a shame he's thrown into the sand at the bottom of the chase, and it's disappointing. Of course, we don't know what the actual truth is. We don't know if he will be at Team 18 or if he'll be at Nissan, which are the two options, unless he drives Tim Blanchard's car, Brad Jones Racing. It might be a better option, although the third entry doesn't normally do very well. But I think there might be more to it. More to the reason that the results aren't any good. Apparently, all you get to come 20th in the championship, all you have to do is not crash the car. This track is so difficult to do. Going in a bit too hot there. But this was pretty much the last moment where Frosty could defend his championship here in 2016. Very consistent. And it's interesting because it also shows, perhaps shows more light on the way that Jason Bright was treated in his final year, when Jason Bright was kicked out of Tickford at the end of 2017. Basically, they weren't going to keep him, and I suppose there just weren't any good options, and he thought, this is enough. This is time to retire and focus on things that I care about and probably matter a bit more at the end of the day: family and a sustainable job. So he's running his business and all that. Frosty doesn't have a business. Frosty's been dedicated to Supercars, and this tough year of 2018, I think, is unfair on a driver like him, who's had that lots of success. I feel like it should be like in working rights, I guess, where you can drive for a long time, or you can work for a long time, and you'll bank up days off. So why can't you have throwaway years or bonus years in your career? Why can't they go, alright, things aren't looking good, we're gonna sign you up for another 3 years or something, and you're gonna go, well, thanks, you really saved my ass, Freddie. But it doesn't look like it's gonna happen, and it frustrates me because I like Mark Winterbottom. I think he's a genuine guy, he's a nice guy. He's, he gets pissed off when when on the track things don't work out. Like, he doesn't like Shane Van Gisbergen very much. Van Gisbergen's a bit, he always talks like things are okay even though they're not. It's a very strange thing. We're whacking on the walls. I'd never finished this race if I had damage on 100% like I did. And 100% means that if you whack something, you are going to get a little bit of damage on the car. I don't know why certain drivers were unable to finish the race though. Because in the last, I think lap 9 or lap 8, a heap of guys were taken out of the race. They crashed their cars or something. Interesting. Bentley. I think Bentley won. No, they could have won Bathurst 12 hours this year. 12 hours always an interesting thing. And not this weekend, but next weekend it will be the championship will be at Pukekohe. And at this stage, the championship's really all about Scott McLaughlin and Shane Van Gisbergen. And so there's the question: who do I want to win? Well, I ask myself that. I don't think anyone else cares, but I want McLaughlin to win. Van Gisbergen's already won a championship, but of course at the end of the day it's all about the best driver and the best team. And I think that that's going to be Van Gisbergen, whether I like it or not. If McLaughlin and DJ Team Penske can actually get a bigger points haul at Pukekohe than Van Gisbergen can, then that will be a good result. Scott McLaughlin's podium result at Pukekohe last year was probably not what he was looking for. He was looking for a win, of course, but the cars were faster last year. Without a doubt, the cars were better, they were faster. Everything lined up in a way that worked for the team, and this year it's not. This year, with the change they made for Fabian Coulthard to have his new engineer, I think it's set back the program a little bit because they don't have the data that they need. Trying to get a car set up, and so for Coulthard, when you can't get the qualifying results that you need to get podiums and race wins, you have to deal with, you have to put up with setting up a good race car just to get you up to the top 10 position, which is why Coulthard is in the top 10 this year. He doesn't have a particularly fast car, but he's a good enough driver to get the car where it needs to be to satisfy the team, I guess. It's very political, and so I guess the sentimental side of it isn't very nice. And so that shows even more light on the way that Craig Lowndes has been treated this year by Roland Dane. Craig Lowndes has been as successful as Mark Winterbottom with their respective teams, and Lowndes gets the better treatment. I think that just shows that Roland Dane is a lot more sentimental about his drivers, I guess, in that way. He's a lot more respectful. He wants his drivers to go out in a good way, and he wants them to have something to go on to afterwards. And for Mark Winterbottom, it just doesn't seem to be happening. I guess he's not as focused as Whincup or something, and I really, really hope this isn't the way it's going to end. In terms of other things, the way the championship's going right now, so Chaz Mostert, is he going to be on the podium a bit more? Well, maybe not. Yeah, what is likely is that you will see a Tickford car in the top 10 at any race for the rest of the year. Newcastle will be interesting because Newcastle's a beautiful circuit. The pictures just look really nice because of the water in the background, the beach sort of stuff in the background, and it just makes for, and the camera angles as well. There's so much of the circuit that you can see because of the rises and falls of the circuit. I don't know what the word is. The geography. And it's just interesting. It's such a really nice circuit. I'm really bad at Assetto Corsa because it's an advanced game. That's why I play Supercars 3 all the time. The reason I'm not playing that is I'm in the middle of just playing around with setups at Bathurst because that's what I'm doing next in VH3. I'd go way faster than I'm going in Assetto Corsa. Although in Assetto Corsa I'm just trying not to crash the car or push too hard. And I think as you watch, I'm pushing a little bit harder, I'm getting more comfortable with the car and the track. And I just am not willing to go into 6th gear except up and down straights. And I think that another big problem for Frosty is that he's being outshined by, well, he's only been outshined by one of his drivers, one of his teammates, and that's Chaz Mostert, who's an obvious star, could have won the championship, probably could have beaten Frosty to the championship in 2015. It could have been close, it could have been really close, but it wasn't. What ended up happening was Mostert obviously had his big crash, took him out of the rest of the championship, and Frosty was able to drive on to victory. And well deserved, of course, because Mark Winterbottom is a very good driver, and they just they didn't have all the bits and pieces that Triple Eight had to get their good results. Really struggling with this corner here. Actually, that was a good one apparently. But you go into it, I couldn't work out. Yeah, I struggled to change the gears down enough, doing it properly. So I'm slowing down at the red bit, brake first, and then drop the gears, and then we just slide into the corner and enjoy ourselves. Nice ride. There are no cars there. There will be a lot more cars, like you saw at the start of this Friday Night Fun. Oop. I did not want to bounce off the... Yeah. And of course there are certain speed limits that I go with heading into each corner. So I go 130 through there. Not sure what I do, so I drop a gear here because it's just a bit dangerous going up into the cutting. And I drop down quite a bit. I think 100 is usually my go-to. I think I'm just playing with gears there, but I think that's 2nd gear at the cutting. And then up under the tree I go up into 4th gear just to have a bit of stability going down the mountain, and then I pick up a bit more speed. Get down to 5th gear at one stage, and look at that, swinging out and just chilling. So next year's going to be interesting for a lot of different reasons. Mainly big name drivers and where they end up. I guess it's just coming to that stage where a lot of the well-known names of the field, and this is an unprecedented era in supercars as well. It's a thing that I want to say in video at some stage, is that supercars is a changing sport. It changes all the time. Every year it's a new thing, something new, something different. And pretty much since it became V8 Supercars in 1997, the way that the sport is financed, the commercial side of it has become dominant, and drivers go for longer in their careers. It was a very uncommon thing for drivers like Dick Johnson and Peter Brock to last 20 years in the sport. And these days it's still special, but 10 years was a big deal. Alan Grice was one of the few who actually did 10 years. Larry Perkins, I think, only ended up doing 9 years. I think he started in 1990 or something in the V8 Supercars Championship. He obviously did Bathurst pretty much every year. Bathurst is a bastard of a track. It's so easy to cock up on, and the consequences are massive. You saw before, to go on flat out and where you find drivers who are stranded and trying not to crash into them, it's damn near impossible. You have to slow down a heap. And it's pretty close to the end of there. But it's a very unique track. Bathurst and Newcastle are compared to one another because of the they say undulation, but I don't know if that's the right word. It's just the mountain, and at Newcastle it's on a hill, and so that sort of thing makes the track unique. Tail and Bend's a little bit like that, but Tail and Bend reminds me a lot of Phillip Island because it's kind of flat, and yeah, there are hills and stuff, but it just doesn't seem to have it in the same sort of way. In fact, Tail and Bend looks a lot more flat than Phillip Island. That's a poor comparison. Here I am, miss the skyline and drop down a bit. Roland Dane and Tim Edwards are kind of contrasting people of one another. Roland Dane keeps his lips tight. He doesn't say too much about what he thinks. Tim Edwards is quite the opposite. Tim Edwards lets you know he thinks that this is crap. He thinks that this driver's crap. And he said it about James Moffat, who drives for him now in the endurance races. But it's just circumstances always. But the one thing I like about Tim Edwards is he's bringing in new talent. Chaz Mostert, obvious talent, was picked by Tim Edwards, and Richie Stanaway was chosen before Chaz Mostert. Cameron Waters came into the sport because he won a competition. I don't know when he came into the frame for Tim Edwards, but Tim Edwards is bringing in young talent, something that Roland Dane's not doing. Roland Dane might be doing something with young talent, but look at all those cars coming up. Is that two Chaz Mostert race cars? Yeah, it's two. One's a 2018, behind us the 2017 car. That's cool. I didn't know that there were more cars coming after me. Look at them all, they're all flying after me, and I'm just chilling. Oh, that's right, I did actually stop at one stage for 5 minutes. So this must be it. They all come flying up after me. And I get the blue flag and I go, oh, here we go. I'll just pull off here into the cutting and just stop. So there's the 2018 Mostert car. Mostert's doing a phenomenal job with the difficulties that the team are facing. 96. There's Slade stuck behind me. I knew there was a guy stuck behind me. He couldn't move, so I ended up actually moving forward a little bit just to get out of his way. There's Lee Holdsworth in last year's colours. There's Rollo. Oh, Slade's gone. Bye Slade, you retired. Slade's got a few more years out of him. I like Slade, I like Is that how it happened? It's a chain reaction. I blocked up the track and even went pop, pop, pop. Like popcorn. Radio then. Oh, another thing, unrelated to the Supercars. My collab channel, Pickle Shaped Peanuts, is premiering its first video in over a year tomorrow at 9 PM. I'll be sure to put a link in the description to the premiere. But so it's like a live stream where you enter before the stream goes live, and the video plays. Well, at least I expect that's how it's going to happen. This is the first time I'm doing it. Don't know if it's going to work. Might cock up, knowing my internet and everything. But you've got it's at 9 PM, so have a look. I don't know how many people watching this would be interested in it, but it's a thing I'm doing with my friends Angrove and Mickle Pickle, and we had a lot of fun, and we just don't stop in this first episode of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Tasmanian Tiger 4 specifically. Here we go, flying off. It's not the bit where I lost it. I don't think I did lose it in this one. This is the final lap, I'm pretty sure, because after all those cars lost out, I thought, do I get to overtake them? so we run into the end into a great race result just by enduring the track. Woo! Woo! Radio. Woo! Is there another lap? There is one more lap. Oh my god, here we go. 24-minute race, that's impressive. Another thing is AIM Industries has been renamed to Same Industries. Not as a joke, as it's more of a... I said it's a happy accident on the blog. I did a blog post. It's actually the first time in 2 years since I did a blog post using the AIM Industries account. Blogger changed the way they do things, so you actually had to sign in every time, and you just click the account, log in, and I clicked AIM Industries because that's what I was there to do. And normally I would do my own personal email address and log into that account, but it didn't. I just didn't think to do it really. I don't know. Different feelings, different thoughts, and I was in the middle of uploading Pickle Shape Peanuts stuff. Yeah. Just another one of those days where you do things for whatever reason. But we renamed the channel to Same, and I called it a happy accident on the blog because I didn't intend to rename the channel. Eisner D'Amato drew up the logo and he wrote Same, S.A.I.M. and so we wrote that underneath the new logo. And then I thought, alright, I guess I'm gonna change the channel name now. And then I did it, and it was funny because you can make jokes about calling it Same, and so I was saying, nothing's changed, everybody calm down, it's the same, and that was my tweet, and I thought it was funny. And it drew attention to AIM Industries in a good way on Twitter. We got a bunch of followers, and yeah. It all worked out. We all lived happily ever after, and here is me cutting the corner because I locked up the brakes. Well, I think I just braked a bit too hard heading into that corner, but 9th. What a good result, eh? Look, there we are. Beautiful result for me. I did not expect to finish 9th. We're at 23.59, 22.42 for Chaz Mostert. And then there's another Mostert car who was in 2nd place, Coulthard, another Mostert, the Australian Drivers Search, Aussie Drivers Search I think it's called, and then Lee Holdsworth in number 18, P6, nice. Nick Percat in the 2018 car, Simone Di Silvestro in the 2018 car, David Reynolds in his 2018 car, Brenton Gadd, that's another Mostert car, there's Tim Slade down in 12th, Shane Gisbergen in, not sure what colour it is actually, it might be, I think it's last year's car, Alex Wello in last year's car, looks like Andre Heimgartner in this year's car, Rick Kelly in 15, in the, A driver, that's another Aussie driver search one, James Courtney in 18th, Gus Tander in last year's car in 19th, Scott Pye in, oh he had the cool livery, okay, in 20th, Wayne Gardner in 21st, and Will Davison in last year's car in 22nd. We've got 2 Will Davisons. Is that alright? Yep. Alright. Anyway, this was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, and another thing was you can see it was Garth Tander. Actually, it might have been the last attempt I did, but I changed my mind but I didn't know I got it to work. Getting this mod to work wasn't easy. But I didn't do it properly. I didn't realise that it said something like a 4K mirror or something like that, or a 2K mirror, I don't know. But So I didn't use it, I used the latest version, and it's actually a patch for the proper version, which is the 4K thing. So I downloaded that and then put it in, it all comes up the way I actually want it to be. It doesn't look the same as the one that Hobo88 uses though, so I don't know what's up with that, but that's just the way it is. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, see you in the next one, bye bye.